Welcome to season 2 of Scuttlebutt. It's been a good first year. We're kicking off our second year, and we hope to make this as informative to veterans in the community as possible. Today, I'm joined with Heather Pierce, who's the Director of Engagement and Development for Camp Carson. This is a military camp, military program for kids, and Mr. Jeremy Monday, who is the quartermaster at the VFW post here in Jasper, post 673. Good morning, guys.
Hi.
Morning.
Morning. So this is, first episode of a new year, and this is a good way to start because this is something that's available to the local community, something that Jeremy, your family's experienced, and something that Heather, you've been involved with for a number of years. So Heather, if you would go into what is you hear Camp Carson, and so what is Camp Carson?
So we are an overnight summer camp in Princeton, Indiana. We have campers from primarily Southern Indiana and Kentucky, but also we have campers from about 18 different states each summer. We have 2 weeks out of the summer that are specifically for military kids. One is that we sponsor that is available to campers from any kind of military family, veteran, active duty, any branch of the military, any status. And then the other one is through Camp Corral, which is sponsored by Golden Corral. And that is for families that have wounded, fallen, or ill family members. And that one is basically free. They pay a deposit, but that's basically free to the camper.
On the second one, is the DAV involved with that one as well?
Yes, they are.
So
They're one of the
it's a
sponsors.
nationwide effort.
Yes,
Effort.
yes.
Jeremy, if you would, I mean, you had one child that went last year,
Right.
and how easy was that as a parent, to get involved with this type of camp, with the veterans camp?
Yeah, it's unfortunately it's been around for years. So how many years? did you say?
1940 is
Since
when we
1940.
started. We started our military program in 2012.
Right. So I hadn't heard about it until the VSO sent out an email last year, and I immediately went on and looked it up. I would have loved to sent my other daughter and maybe even my son, the older kids, but it was very easy to interact with them. Get logged on. You basically create like you do with everything else, a real simple login and sign your kids up. And she went specifically to the military one, and I think we paid a few $100s and it was very much worth the money that we spent on it. And well, like most parents, I was a little bit apprehensive to send off my, I guess she was 10 years old. I said 9 earlier, but she was 10 for 5 days. But it was a very good experience, very professional. The whole group was, even the post there at the, what do you call it, the place that they stay? I want to say barracks, but that's not right.
The cabin.
The
Yeah.
cabin, yeah,
Yeah.
very professional. And it was a great experience.
So
My daughter.
she would recommend it and wants to go back.
Oh, yeah. We didn't even get out the driveway and hit the paved road, and she was asking, when is this next year? So I thought she'd be all worn out, excuse me, and tired and, wanting to sleep all the way home, but quite the opposite. Talked about it for hours afterwards.
So Heather, with that said, I know that you're taking applications for some camps now, and we'll have a lot of information flashed up on the screen throughout this program. But can you go into a little bit like how children are selected? I mean, is it processed? Does most people that want to go get to go?
Yeah, absolutely. The Operation Military Support Camp that your daughter went to is, we still have plenty of spots. It's available to any military family member, active or veteran. And you can pay as much as 400 if you feel like you're in a good spot, and you can pay the full military rate. Regular camp costs $865. So we have donors who subsidize this for
Right.
military. You can pay as much as 400 or as little as 200. And then we also have scholarships. We have other organizations and individuals that have donated money specifically. So if there's a family that really needs extra help, we also have scholarships so that the camper can come for $0 if it's absolutely necessary.
So the Operation Military Support in Camp Corral, but I know the Operation Military Support has the 1 week evolution. How many times do you do that through the summer?
We just do that one once and then Camp Corral once.
Okay.
And then we use the other weeks of regular camp to sort of help pay for
And then
some of these.
helps that, but people can go to those just as well. So,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I was reading. I'm sorry, Jeremy. Go ahead.
I'll just add that we paid the full $400, and it was well worth the money. I mean, it was the value that I think our daughter got out of it from spending a week over there. Uh, we saw our self-confidence go up a little bit, afterwards. And just the facility is top notch for one. And then all the activities, it was never ending. If you're just curious about what they offer, I mean, this is not hiking and hanging around a campfire in the evening, although they do that. There's a huge lake, horseback riding, I believe.
There's horseback riding,
My daughter, for whatever reason, she got up early in the morning and did
fog
the
jog.
fog jog. Yeah, and she runs a little bit, but she's not early morning. So for her to get up in the mornings and go do that was impressive to me.
It is a military style camp.
Right. Yeah.
So, we got to throw a little bit of that in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So,
probably kids that have that mindset, but
so just going to the website and reading through it the first time, I called my wife in. I was like, I kind of want to go to this. It looks like a lot of fun. So
you don't mind. We do have family weekends also in the fall.
Well, I
So
saw that. And you do it like 2 or 3 times?
3 times. One is again sponsored by Camp Corral, and the other 2 are sponsored by our donors, and it costs $25 for a family to go for the
wow.
weekend. And mostly that's just a deposit to hold your spot so that you don't skip out at the
Right.
end and, lose a spot. But you get to do all the camp activities. So you could go for a weekend
I might
and
get put on
do
the
all the
agenda.
things.
I was gonna say, I see where fall break at the
Yeah.
Onion House is.
Very
Yeah.
With that said, I mean, how limited is that?
So we have basically 12 cabins like you saw that house up to 15 people. So during family camps, you could bring a family or like your extended family up to 15
So all my
people.
grandkids.
You could all stay in a cabin together. So basically our capacity is 12 cabins. So and we have some families that have been coming so long now they share cabins because
Right.
they know space is limited. So they've been neighbor cabins for a long time. Now they're sharing cabins. So it is limited capacity because we only have so many spots, but we do tend to fill up and it's a lot of fun.
Now, for all the camps and all the different experiences, I know you have professional and trained counselors and camp coordinators and things like that. Can you go into that just a little bit?
Yeah, so all of our staff comes in towards the end of May. Our first week of camp is June 1st, I think, this year. And our staff goes through a week of like training certifications. We have lifeguards that get recertified. There's child abuse prevention training. All the things that plus obviously first aid and all the safety things that you
Right.
would expect and hope for. And then we have others who are like one of our people is trained to train lifeguards. So there are other levels of capability there.
With that as well, can you go into like the menu and the food? And I mean, is there any problems with allergies or things like that?
No, it's a great question. We have, I kind of explain to parents that ask sort of a school menu. It's
Right.
pretty basic, nothing too crazy, but obviously kids are busy. They're hungry by the time they get to mealtime, so they will eat just about anything. But we do address allergies. There's a whole host of forms that I'm sure you saw before you got to camp. Parents will fill out a health form, so a lot of that includes allergies and we'll address those with the kitchen. We don't ever have nuts, peanuts, or any kind of nuts in the
Mhm.
building. We may have, it's kind of that label on the box that says this may have been processed in a nut facility, but we don't have nuts in our building. So we don't have those kind of concerns with allergies. We also have campers that are gluten-free and vegetarians and so we take care of all of those too.
Awesome. Was there a special menu item that your daughter liked when she was there, or did she talk about the food?
She didn't talk about anything specifically, but I did ask her, how was the food? And she said it was great. It was fine. And we had, plenty to eat. How many times did you eat a day? And, those kind of questions. And it was very well organized.
Was it like the Clean Plate Club ask or anything?
No, she was happy with the food, actually. She thought it was pretty good.
I mean, you said something about the fog run. Was there other events that she highlighted to you as to what she really, age of 10, you can be a pretty picky, not just eating audience, but also how do you entertain?
Yeah, I think, my daughter's one of those slow starters. Once she sees other kids doing it or whatever, she'll jump in unless it's something she's done before or familiar with. And she talked about the lake and all the swimming. And I mean, again, it's not just a water hole with a dock. They have go online and look at it. There's all kinds of stuff out there in the water for the kids to do. And the kayaks and all of the fixtures that you have around the lake that they can swing on and jump off of and bounce off of. And it's pretty phenomenal. she really enjoyed that part of that, and, the fog jog for whatever reason,
Yeah.
again, I don't know why, but she really enjoyed the camaraderie with the other kids, and,
Well, I mean, with that, I mean, I know we're limited with this episode, but Heather, if you had, a couple last points to make to our audience, about Camp Carson and how to be involved, I mean, what would you say to them?
I would anybody that has a kid of camp age, so 7 to 16, but then we also have some teen programs. So if you're going to be a junior or senior, we also have programs for those kids. Look at it, sign up. It's a week of I I was a camper a million years ago, and it changes everything. It, like you said, it builds confidence. You can see a difference when they come home. It's or it might be their eating habits or their outdoor interests, because this is a non-electronic, not, you're not inside unless it's raining
Right?
or you're eating. You're not really inside or sleeping, but it's very active, and a lot of kids come home with a whole different appreciation for the outdoors or archery or just any number of things. So anybody that has campers of age, I would encourage them to sign up because it's just really fun.
Well, thanks. Thank you so much. Like I said, this is our second year of Scuttlebutt. I know we're going to do some follow-ups, and this may be one of our trips to do a off-campus filming to get some more publicity about
That'd be
this. I mean, this is in our backyard, so veterans and other people should take advantage of this. Heather, Jeremy, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to working with you on this in the future.
Thanks so much for having me.
yeah, just a final note, very professional, the staff was great, and it's a very safe environment for your kids, so highly recommended.
Let's go.
Thank you.